Hi everyone, it's Warren Hayes here for Pro Wrestling Illustrated and Bell to Bells once again, and I am here the day after NWA EmPowerrr, and I've got the woman of the hour, the person who put it all together, the legend, Mickie James. Mickie, how are you today?
I'm so good. I'm so good. I'm feeling a lot better today.
What do you mean?
Well, because just everything, I was like so overwhelmed, and there's so much happening, and I just was so laser focused of like I just wanted it to come off perfectly for not just for the NWA, not just for the women, but even for myself selfishly, because I put a lot of work into this, and it was just it was so magical. There were so many moments that happened. It was so many.
It was a fantastic show. Like, it was from top to bottom. No, thank you. It was a fantastic show. I was privileged to be able to see it live. You've been, you've talked about it a lot since your release from the other company. You've been very vocal on wanting to do things within that other organization.
Yeah.
Finally, you get your release. You're able to do and the first thing you do is do exactly what you've been wanting to do.
That's right. I sure did.
And to a high level of success. That's got to feel good.
Oh, it feels so good. It feels so good. Because a lot of times, I say this, it's like we've been humbled so many times, and then I had to doubt myself of okay, am I wrong? Is this not going to work? Am I delusional? I don't feel that way. I feel like we've put in an incredible amount of work, especially even in my own career in the last 20 years. We've all kept leveling it up, and took a while to get here. Even in the producers that I chose, they each had their own journey and their own story. And when I said, for twice the work for half the respect, that's a real statement. Mm-hmm. It's a real statement. And that's not a knock. It's just the way the business has been. And we're in a place now that last night showed, and it proved that we can come together and do something really, really amazing for our women. And the women showed up, and they showed out, and I can't think of a lull. There was every moment was special. Every team, every single wrestler, they just went out there and killed it. And now, I'm so proud of them. I'm just so proud of them. Yeah.
Now, when you approached Billy for the idea, how receptive was he? From the get-go, was he did he sort of scratch his chin, or was
he is a chin scratcher, huh? Does he scratch his chin like that? I don't know if he does scratch his chin like that. To be honest, I have obviously watched the growth of the NWA.
Sure.
For the last couple of years. It's very close to home for me. Obviously, my husband is the NWA real world's champion, and has been for 1,044 days today.
Yeah, I think it's combined. It's about 1,400 days, I think.
1,400.
If you combine, because there's that
combined.
Because there's that one moment
that
where he
one
lost
fluke.
it to that one guy.
Oh, that I remember that. Yeah, I said the fluke. That was
the fluke.
Joking, kidding, jokes. But yeah, no, he's worked so hard, and I think Billy has worked so hard, and they have obviously, what Billy's been able to do with the NWA to bring new life into it, to this new resurgence and this newfound respect onto a brand that is so close to so many of us, from growing up, and now for the NWA, the oldest wrestling brand in all of America, to provide a platform for their women and for the women, I think is a huge tip of the hat.
Yeah.
From a respect level, from a history level. And now that Billy's acquired the Mildred Burke belt, the original belt, and
which is cool.
Where he's talking about how she's one of those forgotten people. Her legacy was kind of like a forgotten thing, and to be able to say no, because she really is the founding mother of women's wrestling in a sense, and she was main event in the show then without anyone thinking twice about it. And she was and to remind people of that, how far we stepped away from it to be able to come back to that. And it's just really cool. A lot of cool things.
It is extremely cool. The one of the things that you wanted to set out to do this is make EmPowerrr a celebration of women's wrestling.
Yeah.
And you reached out, right? You got independent workers, but you also reached out to Impact, AEW. How easy was it to work with other promotions to get their women, and how were they receptive of the idea?
I would say they're pretty receptive. I mean, obviously nothing is ever easy when you're doing business, but
sure.
I will say that they were both very receptive. I think that everyone recognizes that no one right now is doing like a single show for their women.
Sure.
So for everybody to be able to come together, and I think everyone got the energy and the purpose, and as the energy around it started to build, I feel like a lot of people didn't want to miss out on the
Sure.
opportunity to be a part of history, because it was going to be amazing. And it truly was. And I was grateful. I was grateful to have AEW represented. I was grateful to be able to go to Impact and do all, from coming out on Slammiversary, to be able to showcase this match between Deonna and Melina. Melina is so special to me and the history that we've had and made together. But then to have Melina show up on Impact when she had never been in an Impact ring ever before that moment. It was just good stuff all around, and it was just kept building and building and building. And Camille and Layla Hirsch last night
fantastic.
Killed it.
Fantastic match.
What a great match. Yeah. I got chill bumps. See, I got chill bumps about last night.
Just thinking about it.
Last night.
Yeah, well, we are talking about wrestling. Just just to
chills.
I think at the same time, the event happened at a really good time in wrestling, because there's a lot of the Forbidden Door stuff, like everyone likes to call it. There's a lot of stuff moving around, so I think it was a good moment for this to happen.
Absolutely.
Too. So moving forward now, because we look forward. Mickie, when's the weekly show now?
Hopefully soon, maybe. I just would
But I'm
love
kidding,
to
right?
do.
Yeah.
Honestly, I would love. I'm praying about maybe an annual event.
Sure.
More content, more shows that are based around the women, and perhaps, this is just the beginning.
Sure.
That's what I do believe, is that this is just the beginning, because I think, we talked about it, and we had high expectations and talked about it, but it really was going to depend on what happened last night and how it was received. And I think that on every level, I could not, I cry still, I've been crying and been up and down the whole roller coaster, because it was electric. The response was just fantastic, and I'm so grateful. I really am. And I say that with my whole heart in a real place, because a lot went into it, but the other side of it was magic.
And it's been something that you've been wanting to do for a long time, very close to you. And if that was a proof of concept that you needed last night,
got it.
Nailed it.
Hashtag? You can hashtag that one?
We'll hashtag that one for you.
Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mickie. I appreciate it. And thank you very much for the show as well.
Thank you. Thanks for being here. I appreciate it.
Thanks all around.
All the thanks.
Hey everyone, it's Wharton Hayes once again for Pro Wrestling Illustrated. And I'm joined right now by Trevor Murdoch, who is going to be challenging once again for the NWA World Heavyweight Championship at NWA 73 against the champ, Nick Aldis, of course. It's not the first time that you're going to be going through this, but you're a man who's had a pretty extensive career, right? You've been in other promotions, WWF. You've even been in Japan as well. You've wrestled over there. NWA, pop in here. What made you sort of angle towards heading into an NWA a couple of years ago?
NWA obviously has the old school feel to it, but our mantra, our main focus is wrestling and telling wrestling stories that the fans can understand. And also, we don't just, when I was talking to Billy Corgan and Dave Lagana about all this, everything was about long term. Whereas if in wrestling today, everything is pushed to the next pay-per-view, which happens to be 4 weeks away. It's hard for people to get invested into somebody, especially a guy like me, in just 4 weeks.
Why especially a guy like you?
Well, because I don't look like the normal wrestler. From a fan standpoint, I don't. I'm not jacked. I'm not.
I don't know, man. I'm a guy who's been around since the territories. I've been watching wrestling for a while. You got the wrestling look for me.
I greatly appreciate that. Thank you very much. Not a lot of fans, but some fans don't feel the same way as you do. But that's the difference between that's how wrestling is starting to change that tide. Back in the day, that all the wrestlers they didn't, number one, they didn't look the same. Number two, I know probably 100 guys that look like me that even I probably would question whether or not I want to throw down with them, because they're just hardworking, have very strong work ethics. They don't take any shit, and they just want to be treated with respect. They don't want to be bothered by anybody or bother anybody. I mean, that's who I am. That's how I operate my life. I bring my 15-year-old with me when I bring him to these shows, and it's yes sir, no sir. It's stay out of the way and be respectful. That's how I feel I should behave. That's how I should interact with individuals. If I give people respect, I expect to get it back. This world used to be like that everywhere. That's how everybody was. And so that's what I'm trying to bring for Trevor Murdoch to the people, is that you can still, there is no gray area. There's right and wrong. There's respect or no respect. It's a very basic thought process, but one that works. And that's what I'm trying to bring to the NWA, and that's what the NWA has allowed me to do as well. The other thing, too, is when I got here to the NWA, I asked them, as a pro wrestler, you tend to go to the promoter and you want to make them happy. So you ask them the basic question of, what are you looking for? You brought me in here. What is your thoughts, ideas? And the only thing they kept telling me was, go do you. Trevor, just go be you. Like, awesome. We don't have... We believe in you. We like you. So go do you. When it was time for me to grab a mic and talk, there wasn't a page and a half of, pardon my language, that I had to remember. Sure. It was, Trevor, you're mad at this. You're obviously you're gonna have a match with this guy. You obviously have issues with him personally. There's a microphone. And I've been able to go out there and just express myself. I've been able to talk real to the people, because I truly believe, man, you as a fan, whether you're a fan of wrestling or not, you know when you're getting bullshitted. Mm-hmm. You do. You may not be able to put your finger on it. You may not be able to say that's what's, but you feel it and you know it, and you lose a disconnect with the people. I feel like if I go out there and just be honest and be upfront and tell them exactly how I'm feeling, what's coming out of my brain right then and there, you as a fan, human being, person will be able to, it'll be resonate into your heart, and you'll understand it more than anything.
Imagine that. I can't disagree with that.
Simple. It's a pretty simple ideology.
Right. I mean, at some point, it's like you can keep it simple or you can overthink it, right?
Yes. Yeah, and if you've ever watched me wrestle, I'm pretty simple.
Well, I mean,
everybody says, Trevor, you're old school. I don't know how to wrestle any other way. I was trained by Harley Race. This is how he told me the business should be. This is how he told me, like, if I want to get somewhere in this business, this is what you have to do. This is how you have to carry yourself. And that's how I've ran my business, how I wrestle. It's just who I am.
Sure.
I'm not trying to be old school. It's just who I am.
It's just who you are. Yeah. Imagine that playing off your strengths, Exactly. Yes. 23 years in the business, right? Like we said, second time challenging for the NWA world title. You've been national champion before, yes, but now you're going for the big one, second time at it. On top of that, at the Chase, yes, which has historical significance. I mean, this has got to feel good for you, for a guy who was trained by Harley Race and who's old school, right?
Yes, I guess the best way you could put it is Cinderella found a shoe. You know what I mean?
Yeah, sounds right.
Like, this is where I fit. Like, I've had conversations with my wife and other wrestlers about other companies, and there's been other companies that have been interested in me, and I've turned them down. Specifically, I've gotten to a point in my career where I know what works for me. I know where I work. I know where I'm comfortable and where I'm the best at. And I am the best when I step into an NWA studio or an NWA ring and I represent the NWA. That's where I fit. That's who I am. This is where I'm going to stay, man. Hopefully I can continue after tomorrow to being world champion. If I don't win, I've already went out in public and made the statement that if I don't win tomorrow night, that I'll be done in pro wrestling. And I'm very upfront. Like, I took that to heart, and I explained to everybody why I've done that. I want to be world champion. I've been blessed, like you said. I've been WWE, TNA, been to Japan, but I've never been NWA world champion. And if you're a pro wrestler and not wanting to be world champion, you might need to find something else to do.
Right.
Okay.
Right.
And so I'm at a point here where if I can't be world champion, then I'm going to call it a day and be thankful for the career I've had. I can't ask for, like you said, a better way to either win or a better way to lose. I'm here in front of my friends, my family, in a house that guys like Ric Flair and Harley Race have built. you really can't ask for a better out or better in. Does that make any?
It does make sense, absolutely. But you touched on it, right? Like, I think there is a good way for you to go out tomorrow because, like you mentioned, you put your career on the line. Nick Aldis, last time you were in the ring with him, well, yeah, he sort of finessed his way to a victory. Let's be polite about it.
No, I'll say it. It's bullshit.
Do you think he's going to play fair, especially considering the stakes?
I'm hoping, and you know what? I think I could say he's going to bring it tomorrow night because obviously he doesn't want to lose either.
Sure.
But I think he's realized that the way things went last time we were in the ring, he didn't quite get the reception he was expecting to get from the people. So if he wants to beat me tomorrow night, and he wants to be able to look himself in the mirror and be a man, he's going to have to beat me fair and square like a grown-ass man, one-on-one in the middle of that ring. That's how it's got to be.
That's all it's got to be. And that, as we said, the basic principles of pro wrestling right there. There you go.
It doesn't have to get any crazier than that, man. It's one man against another man, and we're going to have a winner at the end of the night.
And we're all looking forward to it. Trevor Murdoch, best of luck to you tomorrow. And we'll be back with more interviews, folks. Hello, everyone. Warren Hayes here once again, and I am privileged to be right here with the Hex, who have become the new NWA Women's World Tag Team Champions after winning the tournament. Coming up on top last night at NWA EmPowerrr was a fantastic moment, a great match on top of that. Allysin Kay, Marti Belle. Allysin, how does it feel to be wearing these venerable straps?
First of all, this strap color, can I just say, this is my favorite color. I don't know if that's just a coincidence or if maybe
the
they looked it up.
turquoise?
Yeah, it's beautiful, and it matched our gear. That was not on purpose, by the way. That was just coincidence. It was just meant to be. It really was. And I feel like every time we're asked this question, the only way that I can describe it is that the atmosphere at the Chase was just magical. I've never experienced a crowd like that, and I wish every single show felt like that.
Well, the show was absolutely fantastic, and you spoke about the Chase. Wrestling at the Chase was a big deal. There's a lot of history with the NWA. First time back in decades, it's the women who have the floor. Marti, that had to feel special.
It really was incredible, and maybe there is magic on these walls. Like there's something about this building. Maybe it is the nostalgic, the throwback. I don't know, but I think we did a great job at respecting our past, but paving the way and showing what the future of not just women's wrestling, but of what professional wrestling looks like.
Absolutely, I agree. Did you guys think that you'd reach these heights so quickly? Like, your tag team is fairly new, right? Did you think it'd just skyrocket like that?
You're right. A lot of people, because they know that we've been friends for so long, assume that we've been tagging for a long time. I think because they know we've been friends for a long time, that these were our third and fourth tag matches ever. So yes, it skyrocketed pretty quickly from the time we started tagging.
Absolutely.
But I feel like I keep talking about the magic, and there is something so special in we know each other so well in and out of the ring that it feels seamless. There is no second guessing, there is no thinking. I know she's got my back, she knows I have hers, and I think that's why it feels like people are so shocked to know that we're such a newly formed tag team, but obviously we're here for something. We've cemented our place in the history books, and that's what we plan on continuing to do.
Knowing both of your careers pretty well, I know you're ready to take on all comers. You're not afraid of about anything. But it's exciting times in wrestling right now. There's Forbidden Doors stuff happening. Moving around. If you had the opportunity, the chance to move around and challenge anyone at all or receive a challenge. That's more what happens, right? The champs get the challenges, right? What am I talking about?
You're right.
I'm new to wrestling.
Here's the thing.
Okay.
We're not going to name one team. We're not going to say one person. This door is open. Well, we're not going to name one person. That's why we're not going to name them. We're not going to name a team. We're not going to name or trios. It doesn't matter. We want everybody to know that the NWA, these titles, we will defend them all over the world. These are going to be world titles. We are going to Japan. We're going to Mexico. We're going to the UK. We'll go to Canada. Anywhere that professional wrestling lives, we are ready to take that. And yes, that forbidden door has been kicked in. Every promotion, we are ready. Last night, I think we showed the respect that there is between all these other promotions. You had so many promotions represented on NWA EmPowerrr, and this is only the beginning. We have just kick-started what the future is going to look like.
Well, I'm definitely excited to see what you guys are going to be up to. It was a great match last night. Congratulations again, champs.
Thank you.
And thank you, Allysin K, Marti, Belle, the Hex, NWA Women's World Tag Team Champions. Hi everyone, Warren Hayes once again here, and I am thrilled to be chatting with the Impact Knockouts champion, the Rea de Reas AAA champion, the virtuosa, Deonna Purrazzo. Deonna, how are you today?
Oh, I'm good. I'm tired, I'm beat up, I'm exhausted, but I'm so happy to be here to be celebrating women's wrestling.
Absolutely, because this is where we are right now. It's the aftermath of NWA EmPowerrr that happened last night. You successfully retained your title against Melina, legend in the business. How did it feel getting in the ring with Melina, with her background and her lifelong storied career?
Yeah, it's I've been honored to be in the ring with quite a few legends this past year, and Melina is someone that I watched growing up, someone who helped inspire me to want to become a women's wrestler. So to finally be able to share the ring with her is something I never thought was possible. So it was really, really cool on a personal level. But then to be out there with her and like feel that energy, she's so emotional, she's so in the moment, she's so fierce. Mickie keeps calling her a Hellcat, and like 100% she brought that out last night. It was not an easy victory, but when it's for my Knockouts Championship, I have to take it up to another level.
And one of the things when I watch your matches, one of the things I like to talk about or like to mention is that sometimes it looks like you're playing with your food. It's like you could end the match at any moment, but you're just sort of like toying with it. Did you feel you had like that kind of loose, like that those opportunities with Melina last night, or was it like, no man, I have to close the deal here?
You know what? I think I get a little ahead of myself. I do think I probably play with my food a little bit because I know I'm the greatest technical wrestler in the world, right? And when I'm out there, I embody every minute of that. Every minute I get, I own that stage. I try to. So yeah, I think I get a little lax and a little cocky. But you know what? I can end the match whenever I want. Whether, last night it was with Melina's leg. I was able to, target some past injuries she had, exploit that a little bit. Most of the time it is the arm. I'm just proficient enough to be able to find it from anywhere, fortunately. So yeah, I probably play with my food a little bit too much, but in the end, it always works out.
Exactly, and I meant that endearingly, right? Because I think that's one of the cool parts of watching you wrestle. You mentioned it, right? Like you were like didn't think it was possible to wrestle Melina regarding everything, but there's a lot of things that we didn't think were possible that are possible these days. The world of wrestling is very exciting. Impact has taken advantage of this forbidden door, but it feels like on the women's side it hasn't been quite as exhaustive, right?
Yeah.
Would you like to burst through that door a little more?
Oh, absolutely. I think I've been probably, if not the most vocal person about wanting to step through that forbidden door, and I was able to do it when I went to AAA for the first time back in May. I was able to challenge Fabi Apache for a title versus title match at Triple Mania. Was the first time I got to do that. But yeah, there's not been a lot of crossover between Impact and AEW on the women's side. And I think, I don't know obviously where the partnership goes from here. I don't know where it ends. And if it doesn't, then that's great. But I definitely like to see women being taken advantage of. There's a lot of dream matches between me and other people on the AEW women's roster, but there's a lot of dream matches for women on our roster for me to have with other people. So my voice, I think people think it's just for me. I get to do so much through Impact Wrestling. I definitely want to spread that love across our entire division because I think our division is one of the best in the world. And I want everyone to get to go through that forbidden door and feel that love and feel that excitement because that's what's made wrestling cool again.
Exactly. I completely agree. Let's say you did have free reign and you could wrestle anyone right now, anywhere, right now. Who would it be?
I would it would be a triple threat.
Oh,
it would
okay.
be myself versus Chelsea Green versus Dr. Britt Baker.
Oh, goodness. Okay.
That's my dream match.
Okay. Well, shout out to Impact Wrestling and AEW.
Hey, TK. hey, that's what we want.
That's what the fans want. And just to wrap this up, EmPowerrr last night was a fantastic show and a very special moment as well. How did you feel being a part of that?
Oh, I cried in an interview earlier, so I'm going to try not to cry now, but women's wrestling means so much to me. I have loved this my entire life. It was my first love, and I wanted to be able to empower women and push forward the narrative that women are a main event, women are the draw, we can have our own show, we can have time and investment and stories and all those things that we deserve, and to be a part of the first ever all-women's pay-per-view run by all women was an absolute honor. I on and off cried all day yesterday because I just am so proud of where we were and where we've come, and to be a part of this in where women's wrestling is today has fulfilled a lifelong goal of mine. So I'm on cloud nine, not just with wrestling, but my life.
Oh, that's fantastic. And how do you feel about the future of women's wrestling moving forward?
Yeah.
Do you think it's in a good place right now?
Absolutely. I think seeing the women across the board, there was such a wide spectrum of women who, someone like Tootie Lynn, who was out there in her hometown with her hometown crowd. Her family was out there, living her best life out there.
For sure.
But finally kind of getting her first platform, her first taste of being in an environment like this. And then, then there's Mickie, who's running the show, and everyone in between, wherever they fall. That is so inspiring to see people step up to the plate, people have these crazy championship matches, to see in an arena that was literally sold out. There were people waiting outside the door last night that could not get tickets. I think this proves to the world, if it doesn't prove to the world, I literally don't know what would. I think this proves that women's wrestling is in a phenomenal place right now, and the future is endless. The possibilities are endless, and we can only continue to grow up. This needs to happen every single year.
It should every single week on top of that. Let's just make it happen. Deonna, thank you so much for your time. Appreciate it. Congratulations on your defense again.
Thank you so much.
And here's to many more.
Here's to many more.
Well, hello, everyone. Maureen Hayes once again here for PWI, and I am joined by one half of the NWA World Tag Team Champions. I've got Kratos right here, who's going to be defending the title this weekend. Kratos, how you feeling, man?
I'm feeling good, man. Thank you for having me, by the way. I'm just excited, man. I mean, this place, just all the events taking place this weekend, the big women's pay-per-view tonight, us tomorrow. I mean, it's just awesome to be here, man. Great historic moments have been made here, and we're just looking to make ours. Aaron and I are hopefully going to be on the same page, and we're going to get that W, so looking forward to it.
You talked about it, right? The Chase, it's the first time that we actually get some wrestling at the Chase in decades, and it's a pretty big part of wrestling history. Luthez was wrestled here, Buddy Rogers, just to name those two off the top of my head. Just some small timers.
Yeah, kids.
How does it feel to be like part of this? Do we dare call it a revival?
I'd like that. I mean, I could roll with that, but it's just awesome, man. Like I said, there's been so many moments that have been created here, historically, and some of the greatest professional wrestlers walk the aisles here. So to be able to do that and be a part of this organization it's huge. It's huge for me. It was a personal goal of mine, and I'm here, and I'm just very fortunate to do it. And we're just, like I said, man, we're just looking to create our moments here. So I'm excited for Sunday.
For sure. Hey, you mentioned your partner, Aaron Stevens. He's a personality. Let's put it that way. How have you guys been prepping for this? I know your situation was a little unique.
It's a little unique within itself, but I've trained my ass off. I know he trains his ass off. So I don't know how. Dynamically we just don't mesh, man. But somehow when that bell rings, we're able to get the W. So. Whether we see eye to eye, whether we hang out and have a beer after the match, it's probably not going to happen. But, we could celebrate the W and go our separate ways. So,
yeah, exactly, right? It's the W that matters. It's the payday. That's ultimately what, at the very end. There's a lot of stuff happening in wrestling right now everywhere. We've got forbidden doors being broken down. We've seen some NWA talent moving around. Is that something you'd like to take part in?
Absolutely. Stay tuned,
Oh, really? Okay.
But, yeah, man, like I said, just with everything taking place right now, just in our industry and wrestling as a whole, it's huge, man. It's, besides everything that's going on in the world, wrestling is just, I feel that it's rocking, man. It's something that's, all the companies are working together, which is great for the boys and the girls. like I said, man, it's just a kick-ass time to be a part of wrestling as a fan and as a talent.
No, absolutely. Especially as fans, I think it's really exciting how everything. So these opportunities that are opening for you as well. If you had let's say we're dream booking here for a second. If there was one match that you'd like to have right now with any tag team, let's say you and Aaron are able to agree. First of all,
yes.
What tag team? What tag team would you like to face? I'm putting you on the spot. I realize that.
Probably the Revival from AEW.
For sure, FTR, right?
Yeah, FTR. Those guys have been starting some shit online and just posting some stuff. So
that's their MO.
That's it. And that if I had to call it right now on the spot, it'd be those two kids.
Shots fired right here. Kratos, it was a pleasure talking to you. Thank you for having me. Thank you for taking the time. I'll stutter my way out of this one, and we'll be back soon with more interviews. Hello, everyone. Warren Hayes here once again. Not gonna lie, I'm very, very honored right now that to be speaking to a legend of women's wrestling right now. That she's okay with giving me some time to answer a couple of questions here. Awesome Kong, how are you today?
I am well. I am it's euphoric. It's weird.
Well, I assume so, right? Because we're, of course, off the heels of NWA EmPowerrr that happened just last night. It was a fantastic show, but throughout this fantastic show, we had an incredible moment with you coming out to save Gail Kim, longtime nemesis.
Yes.
You got in the ring. It was a very sentimental moment. How did that feel? I mean, clearly you were crying, but what was going through your mind at that point?
Well, I've been for a while now trying to figure out a way to say goodbye in a wrestling, and I thought it'd be a nice bookend way to wrap up a good career. I would say it's been a good career.
Many people would be in agreement. Yeah.
Then to have a moment in with Gail and to say I saved your chickish
Again. But that's the point. I agree. It is a wonderful moment because in the eyes of many fans, your wars with Gail helped redefine what women's wrestling was in North America at a very contentious time, right? Do you look back on that period and saying, "Man, this is so great. That I was able to contribute so much"?
I do. I like to. Wrestlers, we like to try to stay humble. However, I would hope that if someone were to write about women's wrestling in the future, that they would mention Gail and I's feud as at least part of a spark that sparked a revolution.
Absolutely, I agree. And you were part of this event last night, EmPowerrr. First time in decades that there was wrestling at the Chase, which is a very important part of NWA history. And it's the women who got the floor that kicked it all off, right?
Yes.
That's a big deal. So does that bring some kind of extra importance to your, as you called it, your bookend last night?
Well, definitely. The fact that it was this venue, the fact that it was an all-women show, the fact that it was a sold-out all-women show, the fact that my name wasn't even on the card, and they were trending worldwide, number 2 worldwide last night, was a very special moment.
Trending for all the good reasons too.
And trending for all the good reasons. So I couldn't think or dream up of a better scenario for me to say goodbye to the sport that I love than what went down last night.
So, since we're wrapping up this chapter of your life, right?
Mm-hmm.
Wrapping it all up. How do you feel about the future of women's wrestling moving forward now?
Well, I feel that in every career, you have responsibilities. I think my responsibility to wrestling now is to give back and make sure this next generation has some support by its four mothers, for bearers.
I'll go for 4 mothers.
4 mommies.
4 moms. And are you continuing to? Are you considering remaining involved? If not wrestling, do you want to stay involved in the business in some form?
Well, I will definitely have to keep, at least my toe in some kind of manner, of course. So I won't renege and, run up in the ring, because once wrestling's in your blood, it's there and never leaves. So, but yeah, I'll definitely have to keep wrestling a theme in my life in some kind of respect or manner.
Awesome, Com. This was awesome. Oh, that's kind of cheesy. But, it's been recorded. What are you going to do? Thank you very much for your time. I appreciate it.
Thank you.
And thank you for your career and everything you've given to the fans.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you. Hi, everyone. Warren Hayes here, and I am standing next to Kylie Rae. You may have heard of her. She's done a couple of things in wrestling. just a couple. How you doing, Kylie?
I'm doing pretty well. Thank you for having me, Warren. I appreciate it, and I'm doing pretty well. Where are we? We're at the Chase, right? Oh my gosh!
We are at the Chase. Well, no, that's fantastic. I mean, that's it. We're right on the heels of EmPowerrr. Kylie had a great triple threat last night here at the Chase. First and foremost, like it was mentioned yesterday, first time that we get wrestling back at the Chase like in decades, and it's the women who take over. That had to feel kind of special, right?
How much fun, and also how chivalrous for the gentlemen to let the ladies go first. Oh, that's so sweet. No, but it's exciting. I don't even know if they meant to do that, but hey, we'll take it, right? So no, but it's awesome. So we're back at the Chase, and we've talked about this. I'm sure everyone has talked about this. The amount of history within this building is just a plethora, right? So it's like being there last night, and I'm sure you felt it. It was like, it just felt magic. It's so hard, you can't put it into words, because you just had to feel it. You had to be there, and you knew it was something special and something magical and wonderful, and it was just literally living history in real time. So it was just awesome to be a part of, and top to bottom, I came out not on top. It wasn't what's it called?
The result.
Thank you.
That's okay. I'm the pro here.
You are the pro. He's my wingman. He helps me out. So it's not the result I wanted, but hey, we'll come back better and stronger. Gonna work harder, and then it's awesome to be a part of it. That was the biggest thing. So.
And that's the thing. It's like sure, the match didn't turn out how you liked, but the first match back at the Chase, you were in it. Diamante and Chick Tormenta. Not women that you're usually used to wrestle, right? Maybe that had a little something to do with the result?
Maybe. It was my first time being in the ring with them, and also the fact that it's a triple threat, so now you just add another element to it. It was fun being in there with them too. I thought Diamante and I were working together at one point, but I guess she had other plans, so it's fine. You know what? Next time I'm going to come back stronger, and she was the stronger competitor that night, and it's fine. But hey, who knows what's going to happen in the future?
Let's speak about the future real quick. Wrestling's really exciting these days, forbidden doors and stuff like that. Yeah, you see? I mean, you can never tell really when Kylie's excited about something, because she's always excited, period. But, forbidden doors and whatnot. If you had the chance, you had the opportunity to go anywhere, wrestle anyone, who would it be?
Oh my goodness. If I had the chance to wrestle anyone, wait, but can I say my all-time favorite wrestler? Because
sure, absolutely. We can dream match this.
Okay, we could dream match it, because I'm sorry, it's just I grew up from the moment I started to watch wrestling. It's just my all-time favorite wrestler is Shawn Michaels. Obviously, I do the super kick, Heartbreak Kid. He's just he was the underdog, the ultimate underdog, and I very much feel that. So it's I don't know. I guess it's Shawn Michaels. I know it's not believable, and it'll probably never happen in a million years. But yes, hey,
you gotta believe.
Speak it out there. Who knows? But this list goes on and on. There's a plethora of names. It's just I need a whole scroll in order to go down the list. So I'll spare you the details. I won't bore you with well, it wouldn't be boring, right? Because you'd be excited to see the names.
If you were to tell us more, it would be definitely not be boring.
But we don't have the time for that, right?
We don't have the time.
So I apologize, but hey, stay tuned. Anything could happen.
Anything can happen. Kylie Rae, thank you very much for your time. I really appreciate it.
Thank you so much, Warren. Have a good night.
Hello, everyone. Warren Hayes here for Pro Wrestling Illustrated and Belle to Bells. Again, talking with more women who were at EmPowerrr, NWA EmPowerrr. And I am thrilled to be joined right now by Tootie Lynn. How you doing, Tootie?
I'm
Doing great. I'm so happy to be here at Fan Fest. Like, I love seeing all the fans just interact with all the wrestlers. We get to say hello. So yeah, I'm just happy to be around you guys. Thank you so much.
Well, we're happy that you're taking the time to chat with us. You were at EmPowerrr last night. You were a member of the Women's Invitational Cup at the Chase.
Yes.
And the Chase, has a lot of history with the NWA. It's a big deal.
Yes.
And on top of that, it's like not only is the NWA back, but when they do come back, it's the women who get the opening salvo, right? It's the women who are here. That must have felt pretty good to be a part of that, right?
It felt amazing. I was very honored. I want to thank Mickie James. I want to thank Gail Kim. I want to thank Jazz. I want to thank Billy and everybody who was involved in the NWA EmPowerrr. I want to thank the ladies too. Like, we all did the dang thing. Like, so if you missed it last night, then shoot, man, I wish you didn't.
Missed something special because it was really good. It was incredible live. I can only imagine what it was watching it at home. And it was amazing watching you. You came out. You were part of the final two of the gauntlet.
Yes.
Didn't quite make it, but I think the story on top of that is the reception you got from your hometown St. Louis crowd. That was. Walk me through that. That must have been something.
So obviously you guys saw me in tears last night, and no, it wasn't because I lost to Chelsea. Chelsea was amazing. The ladies were amazing. But like you said, the reception that I got from my fans and also my family who was in front row, my grandmother, my mother, my aunt, and my big sister were there. Like, just feeling the energy and the love was very overwhelming. So yeah, I had tears in my eyes because, the love from my fans, you guys been behind me since day one, and I really appreciate you guys.
And it really showed last night. It showed that it was special for you, but it was also special for the fans.
Yes.
You're training with Davey Richards right now. Fantastic coach. I mean, if you're going to get yourself a wrestling coach, how's that been going?
It's been going very well. Davey's been helping us out a lot. We are the new Team Ambition. So it's great being a part of that. He has big plans for Team Ambition, but I'm not going to spoil anything. Y'all just got to watch.
All right, we're this close to getting this scoop. What's next for you, Tootie? What's up on the docket for you?
So I know next month I'll be in Jersey for CFU, so you can catch me there. I'll also be in Minnesota for First Wrestling. In October, I will be at WrestleMax on the 1st of October, and on the 3rd of October, I'll be at Glory Pro, so be sure to check that out. So I have myself, Mike Outlaw, and everybody else.
I'm just exhausted listening to you, listing off the dates. I can only imagine the work that you're going to be putting in. Tootie Lynn, she's going to explode, folks. Keep an eye on her. Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you. Thank you guys for having me.